Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. Cross the line in 3, 2, 1.
What is going on, my Impact Wrestling fam? Welcome to another episode 124, in fact, of the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. My name is Geoff, and this obviously is going to be a weird episode, right? It's the end of year awards, but we did get some matches, we did get some announcements, we do have a lot to talk about. So we do have end of year awards, we have a couple of matches, as I said, and then I got some predictions for you. Our buddy Chris Leto has been asking us for a bit, so got some predictions going into 2023. Happy New Year! Happy New Year, Lucha in the building. Speaking of that, Lucha will be joining the GOOOOOO Power Rankings team rather soon. Look out for that with Bert and Datala. And he'll be with us next week and the following for pre and post Hard to Kill. So Hard to Kill heating up as well. So we got that to talk about. And then as you guys saw in the beginning, and as you can see there, and as we know, we have some love to throw out into the universe for Don West. And something interesting, speak of the devil. We actually have Brian Myers re-signing, so we could talk about that. Anthony Greene, a former NXTer, talk about him. Hard to Kill, as I said. And then to give credit to Lucha here, he gave me this question earlier in the day, and I was he said over under 2% that Sasha shows up in Impact Wrestling. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to save it for the end, but I'm going to tell you, and this isn't overly optimistic, Geoff, but I'm going to tell you how I went from that 2% to 50% by the time I pressed start streaming here for this episode 124. But we'll talk about that and see if you guys agree with me, but we'll have a good time. Lots of butts. Hopefully the chat lights up. Lucha's obviously there as a wingman. But let's have a good time. I want to first and foremost say thank you guys for tuning in as Impact gains steam in the new year. We will gain steam as well, but it's one fan at a time, one friend at a time. And guys, we're back to our normal numbers. We thank you for that. Obviously, slowly over time we'll grow, but we finally did it. You guys finally did it. We thank you. 351 in subs for YouTube. Still 105 on Twitch. Just keep those rising, guys. Thank you very much. It's a new year. Thank you, Millard. What's up, buddy? Welcome back. I say thank you as one of the subscribers as well. But you never know. Make sure you check, even if you're watching this from our YouTube channel or our Twitch stream, make sure you're following or subscribing. You never know. The algorithm likes to take away and give back, so it's worth a check. And we'll have to have a new Year's resolution. I don't know. A new goal. Let's go for 400, right? Not too much. We're looking just to grow Impact a little bit at a time, and us as well. In the meantime, and with that being said, Twitter almost at 4K. Thank you very much, guys. So don't have obviously power rankings or poll results, so I'm not going to pander too much, but I do got to plug our things here. Obviously, I already said go Power Rankings, but I didn't mention the time. Tuesdays, 7 p.m., they'll be picking it back up, as Impact does as well. So look out for that, once again, with Bert, Datala, and Lucha. And then Talking Bloody Nonsense, I was trying to think of the episode they're on. It's usually parallel to us, so 53, 54, I don't know, 64. Oh, this whole year has been crazy. But the numbers for them, man, thank you guys for giving them a watch. I don't know if it's the same crowd or not, but thank you. They're killing it over there as well. Well-deserved. If you didn't notice from their videos, good dudes. And Nixon's quite a character himself. So go check them out on a weekly basis. Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. BST. Talking Bloody Nonsense. All right, so this is normally where I'd kick it to the Power Rankings. But I will say, if you want to join our Power Rankings, really quick, at Burt Macklin 11, at TNAIW channel, talk to the Twitter man himself, Io. Really simple, you ask, you get in the chat, between Thursday after the episode, Sunday at noon, you just put in your top 10. That's it. And as they're saying, I see someone already said it, Lucha in there, obviously saying it. Don West, if there was a power rankings this week, Don West 10 through 1, no doubt. But we'll get more to him, more on Don and talking about that and celebrating him as well. Let's get into the 86-minute episode that was Impact on Access TV. And I say 86 because I usually say 88, but once again, even though it's their own show and their own network, hey, that 2 extra minutes means 2 extra minutes of advertising dollars, and we'll take them. We'll take them. So 86-minute episode, regardless of it being mostly recap. I still enjoyed it, but it all obviously, as I say, every week starts with BTI. Even if for you guys, it's obviously hard to watch BTI when you watch Impact. I get it. But that last 15 minutes, especially if you're a YouTube watcher, Impact on YouTube, from that 8 o'clock to 8:30 while you're waiting, go back, at least watch the Iceman Intel so you know what the hell I'm talking about. Laugh with us about it. And then the match as well, because this is our only new content match here for the evening. But first, let's start with Iceman Intel. And he gives us something. He says that NXT superstar, former NXT superstar, is going to make an impact starting here tonight. We obviously put the thing out about that, so I won't jump too far ahead. But or we put our little cross the line thing for him. I don't know if he signed. We'll talk about that. But self-admittedly, I am not an NXT dude. Unless you tell me it was Braun Breaker, it wasn't gonna pop me. And spoiler alert, this did not. Doesn't mean it's not a good pickup if he is with us, but we'll talk about that in a little bit later. But first, I want to get to the match for the only match, I guess, technically. The Good Hands. So Hotch and Skylar together, being called the Good Hands. Not formally a team yet. Don't got the look and all that down, right? They don't got the entrance, yada yada. You know how we like to keep it here, spoiler free. But I was catching up, a little botchamania, and it's the only way I can. That's how I get my AEW news. I watch botchamania. Just kidding. But there was a moment that spoiled something forthcoming, and last week I mentioned it. I said that I didn't really know if the Good Hands were with Bully. It didn't feel like that vibe. He left without them. They kind of are doing their own thing. They could be guns for hire. I don't know. Maybe they still can be, but this botch that happened. Geoff, I didn't know Superstar Mandy Rose had a mustache. I don't get that. Okay. Oh, NXT Superstar. Is that where she was? She was in NXT? Yeah, no. I didn't think it was going to be her. Still a possibility, but we talked about that last week. So, but here, so I checked up, and there's obviously a Bully thing with them. So, no, obviously spoilers, but it looks like maybe they're still working with Bully, which I dig. Either way, if they're not, I like the fact, and I like the commentary put it over, with the Good Hands as well as Yuya and Delirious, of saying, oh, here's the beginning. Yeah, in reference, I know Anthony Greene, I get it now. I just didn't know if you thought I said it was going to be Mandy Rose or something. I get it now. But I like that the commentary put it over as, and this is a TNA thing. I'm sure it's a wrestling thing in general, but growing up with loving TNA, it's one of those things that I feel like they're more prominent for, giving a beginning, middle, and end to tag teams. And saying, hey, this is the birth of some new tag teams. This is the launch. I like that. Because instead of just throwing two people together, and they've done that before with Laredo Kid and Trey, for instance. That's the most recent one that comes to mind, where they just say, here you go, and if it sticks, it sticks, but it's just here for the time being. This didn't feel like that. Do I think there's potential in Yuya and Delirious? Why? Because they both, this isn't their first language? I don't, sure. I guess. No, I don't think anything big's coming out of this. I think the loss to Good Hands, it's more of that. But after Yuya's big coming out party, if you will, last week, I thought the victory made sense. Now, the Good Hands, obviously, they'll get, without spoiling it, they'll get some comeuppance soon. I'm not worried about them. Once again, this doesn't mean they need to be the next tag team champions. It just means that Impact in good faith is creating new tag teams, which I dig. And this was a good sign of it. What's up, Bio? Greetings. What's up, buddy? But yeah, Yuya and Delirious here picking up the win. No harm, no foul on that. But I dug it, man. I dug it. Nice BTI match. Kept a couple stories going. And especially after Yuya just came and tried to save Delirious from Eddie. Kind of puts them back together. I like it for now. The first match up that they're going to review, and this is one of those things that it's like sometimes I go back and watch recaps of a game I just watched, a football, basketball, whatever, and it's like, oh, I missed that. Okay. And not even I miss it. It's just like you can kind of see things a little bit, right? And that's one of the reasons I like watching these recap ones when it's like this, end of year and stuff, and maybe not necessarily a full BTI episode, but you know what I mean. I feel like I'm always bashing BTI. Go check it out, even if it's the last 15 minutes. But I like this because there's so many narratives, and we're programmed now to have such a quick turnover, right? The next thing's the next thing, and what have you done for me lately? Da-da-da-da. But to remember, last year at Hard to Kill, we had a main event of Moose, Cardona, and Morrissey for the title. What a big-time feeling moment or main event scene that felt like. It felt like we were, right? And I just kind of totally over that. So it was cool to see, man. And what a loss. This is one of those things that, I don't want to say a loss, but it is. Because he was with us and we lost him. Obviously, it's never ours to have in the first place, or to keep in the first place. One day, I hope that changes. But Morrissey came here as a reclamation project and quickly got over, to be honest. And imagine he stayed. I know I said that a couple weeks ago, but these are the kinds of signings that you can't really kick ourselves so much about, even though it is, obviously us that he left. It just is that long-term play of like, okay, yeah, we set him up for success. He went on to the next, what perceived is bigger right now. And he's Big Bill. I don't watch it. Maybe it's better than it sounds than I'm saying it out loud right now, condescendingly. But I would like to think that he could be W. Morrissey and in title contention right now if he was still with Impact. Obviously, bigger fish, small pond. I get that. But sometimes, and we'll talk about this with Sasha, because this is one of those things that plays into it. It's what does the wrestler want? What does the talent want? And legacy has to be part of it when Impact is smaller for people to want to stick around. And for Morrissey, he wanted to be on a bigger platform. He got what he wished for. I wish him the best. If he's champion there, awesome. But once again, it does us no harm to help people get to where they want to go and then be there when they realize what they had. Okay. So this was a good telling of that. Next up was Hard to Kill 22 as well. Once again, Hard to Kill. Always killing it. Ha ha ha, right? But still, pun intended, man. I mean, I forget how damn good some of these these lineups are, man. And it's really cool that, and I'm a TNA homer, you guys know that. June 19th, 2002. So for me to say, man, I really hope that Hard to Kill stays as one of the big four is a thing, man. It is big. And for me, it is. I like this. Hard to Kill as 76 Philly. Welcome back, buddy. Set the tone for 2022. Critical Sting, what's up? I agree. And then every show followed in suit. And I said it before, I'm not going to back down from that little prediction, that big paint stroke of a prediction, but I think 2023 is going to be a big year for Impact. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not sure it's going to be called Impact. I don't know, man. I don't want to stir the pot. We'll talk about it, but you got to follow the breadcrumbs. A lot of this is following the breadcrumbs. But first, we have Texas Deathmatch. Mickie James as champion, because you remember she was in the Royal Rumble as Impact Women's Champion. But there nonetheless. And her and Deonna had a banger here. Deonna, by the way, who I believe is staying. Okay. New shirt, which is dope. Go cop that. interview she does. And then she's in this new number one contender match, which we'll jump to in a bit. Especially with the rise of Macklin. Now, once again, I say you don't always have to work with your significant other. Trust me, in some cases you don't want to. But this is, once again, I feel that legacy pull is we'll talk about it. But this was a banger of a match. If you forgot about it, go check it out. And then right after this, we go to the Knockout of the Year award. And that goes to, it's the Juggernaut. It's Jordynne Grace. So Jordynne Grace winning that, rightfully so. Despite, Deonna kicking ass, Mickie James kicking ass, all those things. Maybe Mickie could have actually made a play with the crossover there. But yeah, good for Jordynne. Awesome. I think with the bangers she had with Masha, which we'll get to Masha in a second too, my about that. I think Jordynne solidified herself, no matter if she loses that belt at Hard to Kill or not, as already a pillar. I hate that, but a pillar of the Knockouts Hall of Fame. Say that? Keeping that up, right? Keeping the Knockouts legacy going. Eventually being, long-term inducted in there. She put her claim on that, man. So if she does lose, no harm, no foul. And this award is another sign of that for me. Next up, they go to what becomes the Moment of the Year, or wins the Moment of the Year award. And it's the Rebellion match where Josh wins the title finally against Moose, 1, 2, 3. And you guys voted it Moment of the Year. It's hard to say that at least wasn't the kind of the spark of the year, right? Josh's reign kind of defines this year. But yeah, what a great pay-per-view. What a great main event, and what a great culmination of a storyline done right. The quick heel turn. Everyone is so quick to judge. Everyone hated on that with Moose. It made stars that night, man. It made Josh's climb more important. Made Angry Josh relevant and cool, man. And it also made what is the most exciting part for a face champion, generally speaking, is that climb. Is that the culmination. Then they have the matches to everyone who deserves them, right? We went over that multiple times throughout Josh's reign. But what they did a really good job of, and I'm swaying back to him keeping this title and not losing it to Bully. I know I swayed over the past few weeks. But what, just like Jordan in at the end of 2002, they gave him bangers that, spoiler, we'll jump to, but one match of the year. And they gave him matches with Alex Shelley. The list goes on and on. Yes, did they have that blood feud? Not so much in all of these. But as a face champion, what you can really ask is that he puts out bangers, and that's what happened. Luckily for us, this last Bully little thing here, man, has really pushed us into that next stratosphere with Josh's title reign. With Jen being a part of it. Tommy, and so on and so on. So, looking forward to what continues with Josh's reign. I think he's coming up on Bobby Roode's on the 4th, if I'm not sure. See, another big question there for Moose in 2023. Well, we've talked about that a little bit, about his contract running up in mid of 2023. I hope he stays, because I think there's some really cool shit around the corner that I would love for Moose, who has been another guy like Eddie or Sammy, who has busted their ass for this company, deserves to reap the benefits of whatever boost we get. Right? They should get their flowers, and they should be part of it. We'll talk about, I don't want to get into all that, but we'll talk about some of that a little bit later. Next up was ex-wrestler of the year, and that went to Mike Bailey. I don't know how you can make an argument against that. I'm sure you can, but someone can. But Mike Bailey's winning it there. And we go right to Kenny King, Notorious, and Bailey's Crib. So that's what I got written down. I'm going to try to piece those back together. Okay, yeah, so Chris Wallace, gotcha. So Big E's on the wall, and Kenny King is talking about how he's, congratulations for Bailey, but I'm going to show up at his crib, whatever that means, is me at his house, I don't know. But, so that feud continuing even on the end of year episode, which I dug. And then, of course, they go transition to Slammiversary 22 Ultimate X, Kenny King, Ace Austin, Everett, Trey, Zayn, and the victorious Bailey, who eventually feet touched. But that moment of him on top of that X will be an iconic clip that they show over the annals of TNA/Impact history. It was just a moment. So I dug that. Next was Tag Team of the Year, and that goes to Sabin and Shelley, Motor City Machine Guns. Motor City Machine Guns, if you're familiar from day one to now, the one thing you could say is, one, obviously they don't age, and two, they're very consistent in everything they do. And that goes for the promos as well. Chris Sabin is always we love you guys, babyface. And Shelley's like, we work our asses off. We're glad you recognize it. Deuces. It's typical Shelley and Sabin. I love it, man. Love Shelley. Love Sabin. And it's crazy to say in 2023, Motor City Machine Guns are still in the company. And not only that, but in 2022, they won match or Tag Team of the Year. It's phenomenal, man. I think what happened with them, though, is one of the reasons it feels like, and there's only 3 reigns, obviously, is because of them and, being in the company, being out of the company, injuries to Sabin, Shelley on his own, all these different things. Sabin is champion. They really didn't get that dominant run. They had great shit. Great shit. There's my cat. But never, this is a good run. It once again solidifying their legacy. Not that they needed this, but I never thought I'd miss the Biz Cliz this much, says Masalka. Are we talking about tag teams? Is that where you're talking about? Next up, though, as far as the clip that they put on here is Slammiversary 22 again. We're going back in there, and it's Team TNA. Team TNA with Davey, with Magnus. No, I'm cool with Aldis now. Me and him personally, we're cool. No, so Team TNA versus Honor No More. Another moment that these brushstrokes of a year in life and all this content makes you forget, some of all this stuff. This match was so hype. Yeah, I as a TNA guy watching this after Don's the news of that, of his passing, which, once again, we'll get to. I don't want to, the TNA chants during that clip of that match were just, they resonated, man. It resonated. And, we'll dig more into that. But this was a cool moment, and it got me. Everyone's saying match lived up to nostalgia. I agree, guys. Cool moment. Next up is Joe Hendry, and he's challenging Moose. So Moose, what's up for him? At least he's getting a DMC match, right? And with this title, man, is it where everyone wants it to be in one day, wants it to be, the Intercontinental? No, it's not. Does the lineage, every person on the lineage of this belt, in the lineage, you know how I am. Sound better to this week? Try to fix it. I don't know what's going on. Do this to talk to you guys. But yeah, it's not overnight where we want it to be. But when you look at the lineage of this belt, so we start with Jordan, you go to Cardona, right? You go to Swan, you go to Myers, you go to Hendry. Am I missing someone? No. I mean, them are names. And them are names that are contributing to this company still. Some of them signing to continue to contribute. But this belt is pretty damn close to where for everything that everyone was worried about, throw it in the trash can, all that stuff. You got to give credit, man, to even though this belt wasn't at the forefront. No, it's not more, prestigious than the X Division title. But the belt's got 21 years of, 19, 20, math. 20 years of a head start. Will it ever reach that level? I don't know. Probably not. Once again, 20 years. But it's a damn pretty belt. It's a belt that they booked, at least as far as who it's on, damn well. And now it's in a feud with two dudes, one who you want to be a future world champion, maybe both you want to be a future world champion, but one that is a prior. Look, I'm not a big fan of the mid-card, that tone when you say that word, mid-card. But I think there's something important about the mid-card. Mid-card's the hardest part. You're not at the show where everyone's excited to throw down and cheer and whatever. Sometimes the mid-card is you got to set up that main event. And it's an important part. You got to keep their interest. You got to not take away, but you got to set the tone. And that's what a future world champion should get the test doing. So Joe Hendry having this belt, or whoever comes next, is exactly what we want this belt to be. It's just going to take time for the lineage and the length of it to finally be like, oh shit, this belt means something. But it does. And you should be damn proud that when, we can make a case for a bunch of different things with this company, that we finally have a belt. Not the Legends, not the TV, not the World Elite or whatever bullshit. It's not, okay? We got a belt. I'm happy. Because I've seen all the iterations of the other ones when they tried. Swing and misses. And you can make a case for the one with the Grand. The rules kind of, stuck one right in the ass from the get-go. So, but I digress. Next up, let me know, guys, by the way. Of course, this is, the monologues, but it is a two-way conversation with you guys in the chats and in the comments as well. So light me up. Next up, the KO Tag Team of the Year was the Death Dolls. Shock. No, look. Over the year, yes. Were there other teams that came along that I was vexed? I like the Death Dolls, don't get me wrong. But let's call it spade. We know where we're at with that tag division. As far as how many. Could they create more? Yes. Do we throw them away? No. I can't stand that idea. It will take time, but I still think they're right now they have the nucleus that they can create create it and split off many tag teams. So we just got to wait for the booking to catch up. When will that be? That we can debate and we can argue and be upset about, but the possibilities are there. We'll see. But congratulations on the Death Dolls. I don't want to take anything away from them because they are a beacon of light within what some of you view as a dark tunnel, a dark realm, undead realm. But I have faith. 1 to watch in 23. Bhupinder Gujjar picking that up, and they show his ladder match with Brian Myers, rightfully so. Io talking about that there. To be frank, a lot of teams made the claim for KO Tag Team of the Year. Influence, Vex, Death Dolls, Inspiration, Tosh, and Savannah. Yeah, let's not forget that they have created ones. Did the timeline of those teams, help us in the long run? No, because, obviously all those teams weren't there at the same time. But let's not forget that they've been trying. Yes, that's a great point, Io. Shout out to Io. All right. But Bhupinder winning it here, and as far as who to watch out for, I think it's a good case to make, right? He's got a good future. He's improving. The confidence is there. He's got the jacket, so we're closer to the fur jacket and Lambos and neons that I want for Bhupinder. But he's just got it was just about being comfortable and being green. I said it from the get. Look, it's nothing against this kid. He is a a good-looking kid with a great heritage. He's got a big reach. From every interview to everything you see of him, he just seems like a good dude. He's marketable, going back to that reach. And he's not like a scrub in the ring. It's just you could tell that he had to put some pieces together. Even if that's wrestling on a camera for the first time. Whatever it is, he needed it. And he still needs more. But Impact has done a nice job of still mingling them in there and now adding that second layer. They need to add that third and fourth. But that will come in time. What will Gujar become? What do you guys see him as? What gimmick do you see him as? Just being Bhupinder Gujar? I'm a gimmicky guy. I like having some story to him. And I think the quick fix is giving him that. Letting this award get to his head. And spend that money he gets from it on Lambos, Neons, and first coats. All right. So next up is another person that it could be to watch out for. So, a couple things I want to take on this because it's Anthony Greene, the alternative. Self-admittedly, I heard Anthony Greene signed or is showing up on Impact. I said, oh, the guy from Circus Survive. The guy from Seosin, that guy? Nah. So I had to look it up. I'm not, you guys know, I got 86 minutes of wrestling time, and then I spend that for Impact. But the positive and negatives I want to say first of all. Of signing him, no. It's just of what I've saw spark from this. Is one, do I think this is a huge signing? No. I didn't even know who the guy was. But do I think it's a very smart signing if he signs? I do think these are the kinds of signings that Impact has to make to still appease and pop the wrestling fan base. Because the wrestling fan base knew who this guy was. Just because I didn't doesn't mean anything. Does it mean that we're going to get millions because him? IO doesn't think he signed. Shouldn't make the damn graphic, IO. No, just kidding. Well, regardless, we'll just play it this. People knew who he was. Okay. What I saw spark from that. Well, first of all, let's say that. If you're an Impact fan, you should just applaud that. The fact that any person that comes here, and there's people that kind of fit this as well. Maybe not Alan Angels. I know it's our thing. I'm just kidding. I'm just being silly. I don't know. I'm racking my brain for a metaphor, someone I can use as a comparison. Masalko saying not a huge fan of Greene. Okay, so you know his work, but a fan of the character work to do. He can succeed in Impact. Gotcha. Sorry, I can't read. So putting that aside, though, we're doing this. We want Impact to grow. So as an Impact fan, if people are even interested in someone that might say, "Well, I'm just here to watch Anthony Greene, see what he does in Impact." Cool, man. Whatever gets you by, as long as you're watching, I'm happy. So from that aspect, I'm happy with this signing. But just like and I have a lot of failing sports teams, so I can make this comparison. It's same with the Knicks when they sign somebody. Millard saying he could wrestle, but he just looks like trailer park male stripper. Yeah, yeah, he's got a look. He's got a look. But the same with the Knicks. No matter who they sign, if it's a guy that they know is going to be their third string or backup center, oh, that guy's a game changer. That guy's gonna sign. That guy's gonna make waves, bro. Not every signing is there to burn down the door, and not every signing celebrated by a fan base is them saying that it's gonna be the next world champion. No one gives a shit when someone puts an all elite one out for a pizza guy or insert Dark Order number 15 person. So don't let anyone give you shit. No, everyone's Noel a game changer. You know, he's shipped out, but yeah. Shout out to Noel. Number 9 now. Look, not everything has to be a home run. In fact, no one was breaking down the doors when we signed Ace Austin. No one was breaking down the doors when we signed Mike Bailey. It was about the same reaction, which is, oh, I know that guy's work. Okay, cool. Here, let me tell you about him. Or, oh, I don't like him, or whatever it may be. But there was a little attention. And now look at those dudes. Do I think he'll be on that level? I have no clue. I have not seen a damn moment of his work besides the promo. But we have to stop this narrative of we can't be happy about an improvement or someone exciting a new product coming to Impact. This shit's got to stop. Okay? Not everything's got to be a home run. These are the same people, I'm telling you, that when good shit does happen, will be the first to undermine it. Okay? These are the same people who scoffed when Bully Ray debuted. 48, Bully Ray, whatever he is. Okay? And then he's putting over the younger guys. Macklin, starting there with him. Now he's with the good hands. He's talking about Josh, putting him over. Okay? He's worked with the Bullet Club. Well, and then the narrative changed to, well, he's just, he's not going to do anything. He's not entertaining. Then the stuff with Josh happens. Oh, that's just cheap heat. Okay, now everything has, no, he's not going to be the main event. Everything to keep their narrative alive. Don't fuck with people like that. They will suck your excitement out of everything in life. And if you rock with people like that, you would not see the blessing of Bully Ray being in the company as a blessing that it has been. Is it another, this could be a home run world champion if he wins, but is this the thing that's going to bring Impact back to the promised land? No. But the fact that during Christmas, or the holidays, right, I was going to say Christmas Eve, but he wasn't here Christmas Eve. No, he was here Christmas Eve. My cousin was here Christmas Eve. It was Christmas Eve. Well, all these freaking holidays rolling at each other. Doesn't watch. He's an AEW dude. And every time I check him, hey, you want to go to Bound for Glory with me? Hey, you like Impact? Hey. He's coming over for Hard to Kill. Do you know why? Because when it came up about Bully Ray, not by my own admission, he said, that's a damn storyline. That's how wrestling should be done. And this is a dude in his 50s. Okay? So you just gotta enjoy things, man. Just enjoy them for what they are. If it's the Bully thing, if it's this Anthony Greene signing, or anything that's to come, or if it's a Mandy Rose signing, don't let these people ruin it for you. I digress. All right. Next up is Crazy Steve and Black Taurus. And they mentioned Cross the Line. I'm just saying, man. Breadcrumbs. This is right after Ray Walt said it not too long ago in the same episode. But they're talking Trey. Black Taurus versus Trey. We get the culmination of that. Anyway, it's going to be a banger. Don't see Black Taurus obviously winning. Looks banged up still. Regardless, it's going to be awesome. Excited for him to stay relevant in singles as well as tag with Decay because... Come on, man. If there's any time for another tag team to step up, right? Especially we don't know what's going on with the major players. This is Decay's time, I think. But right after this is Josh Alexander winning Male Wrestler of the Year. We're going to get crossed the line over in 2023. I think it already is. And not because of us or anything of that nature. We'll talk. I'm going to talk about that. And in my TNA thoughts. So Josh wins. I mean, come on. You can't argue against Josh being Male Wrestler of the Year. He was our year. He was our champion. And then right after this, we go to Honor No More, Gresham, Eddie, ROH video package. Another one of those things. I'm not going to say it's the same as Morrissey, but pretty damn close. Because knowing that there were offers, at least interest, once Sir Baguette was robbed. Shout out to Masalka for that. Hey, he won X Division Wrestler of the Year. But what I was going to say was, with the Morrissey thing, that was, but the chance, and knowing that they had made an offer or something of that nature when it came to ROH and Impact, this was a dagger of what could have been. Coming off of Eddie's interview last week as well about, it would have been cool the Moose to be on board, the Briscoes to be in it. It just is what it was, and what happened. And these are one of those moments that I will go back and say, what if? And it's fun too, because the amount of talent that was out there available before AEW swooped up and grabbed them was pretty damn interesting. Could you see another show, Impact owning a second show? That'd be cool. I don't know. But either way, through this history, it's all, they're telling the story of Eddie and Gresham and why this match at Hard to Kill was waiting to happen, and rightfully so. This match is going to be awesome. How awesome is to have Gresham in here? By the way, saw another people come whatever about him, and the thing I will say with Gresham is right now, at the very least, and if you know me personally, G, he is his floor, which I believe he is at right. I will say that's where he is right now, is Dean Malenko. And I love Dean Malenko. Okay? This dude can go. He could do anything you ask him to. People say he had no crit. Come on, man. If you could perform in front of people and put things together, you can figure it out. And I'm not talking charisma, that I think that's natural, but I'm talking like character or anything or little. Impact is the right place for Gresham to be because he can do everything. And he has added to the character, but I think that's his gripe that people make. So, once again, enjoy this signing. Don't let anyone say anything different about it, because this is one of those moments where you're like, damn, okay, we got one. We got one. So I'm excited for Gresham to be around. Right after this, match of the year is awarded, and it's Josh versus Bailey, a late one, but I mean, how can you argue? Nearly an hour. It's a classic already, and one of that film school. There's like that wrestling film that always watches Impact. They put out the tweets about the matches they're watching. I wonder if they've already hit this, but this is one they'll definitely keep in their logs for years to come. Masalko said 2 friends are going to start watching thanks to Gresham signings. Once again, 1 friend at a time, 1 fan at a time. That's all it takes. And the same goes back to my long tirade about Anthony Greene. If it brings one person to the table, I feel like Impact could put their dick on that table and the people will stick around. We're headed to where I think is going to be even better. We're getting our momentum back. And let's actually, because that was the episode, and I don't really have, obviously, everything else. Let's get into hot topics, because speaking of momentum, and I know there was a comment about this, that we don't think the faction is going to happen. I think Team Canada, especially seeing the Botchamania spoiler I saw about what happens, with a certain vice president of Impact Wrestling. I just think these Canadians are going to be out for some blood. Do I think Chelsea sticks around and is part of it? I don't know, but I still think it's going to happen. And I think it's going to happen because, especially with Lou coming on board and him being marketing, right? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at Impact's numbers, tweets, social media, all social media, YouTube numbers, merch sales, anything, and see that TNA is the money, is the cash cow. I wouldn't be surprised if we get in the future, long in the future, we get a glimpse of what Anthem's 5-year plan was. And if it wasn't to from the get, erase the stink to then rebuild from the ashes. Impact is a awesome brand. The big gripe back in the day because people were hating on Impact. But now that hate is gone and is between WWE and AEW, we can now see that the TNA name wasn't that stupid. There's a lot of uptight people getting, oh, well, and a lot of companies that would do the same. Look, bro, if WAP is on TV or whatever else, insert WAP. Did I say WAP or WAP? I'm a WAP. Anything could be on TV, and the letters TNA are not synonymous with that anymore. I just don't. I don't think so. And I maybe, and you prove me wrong. Show me numbers that I'm wrong, but nostalgia wins. Nostalgia wins. And the reason I say this, I have very little connection in my old stuff and TV and all that stuff. But nostalgia is the way of 2023, if not 2024 and 2025. The creativity well has dried up. What little left is dried up. They're going to keep popping out these millennial targeted nostalgia shows. Recaps, or not recaps, but reboots and rebrands and everything, okay? Sequels galore. That's what they're looking for. And if that's the market, because they're saying that the millennials and above have the money now, not that 19 to 30 whatever graphic, or used to be demographic, you would have to assume TNA fits in that. And I'm not saying that's why Brian Myers resigned if he thought TNA was coming back. Maybe that's not even what happens. I'm just saying, as one of my predictions, I would not be surprised if we go back to being TNA and Impact being the show. Just saying, man. The LOL TNA, look, if we're Impact or TNA, people will still have that opinion. Because they're the same people that hate on everything we're doing, regardless how good it is, and will continue to move the goalpost. So Impact will never be great in their eyes. So I say you 8 Mile that shit. You drop the IW. Well, not really, but you go back to TNA. You sell merch, you get the chants back in the crowd. I bet you the marks who say Impact sucks will be chanting along with us. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't care what other people think, so I'm one of the few that want TNA to come back. I'm not saying you have to go 6-sided ring. But AJ Styles didn't really wrestle for Impact Wrestling. What, a year for that weird, we're Impact, we're not Impact, we're TNA Blue, but we're not. Look, man, the lineage is TNA. You bring back a Team Canada. You're bringing back Bully. You might give Mickey the belt. Aldis is a free agent. X Division is blowing off like never before. The Knockouts are still killing it. Why not? Why not? Sell that merch. Sell that merch. And a quick thing on Brian Myers, man. If it's because he thinks TNA is coming or not. He said it's an easy decision, but look at his run. Even when he was, his contract ran out and then they extend whatever, the layover, he worked weekly, whatever, and he had the digital media run. He put some respect on that title. He's part of that lineage that put that belt over for me. And hopefully for you guys. He deserves a rematch. Well, I think he's owed one. But this dude, from, his stuff with Cardona to stuff by himself and with the DMC, and with Gujar specifically, sticks out. His learning tree stuff. And just the merch stuff, man. This guy can do it on his own. So to have a hand like that never hurts the cause. I like Brian Myers. I like him a lot, man. And that's as much love as I don't want to give. No, I'm actually saving it for the Don West thing, which I want to get to really quick. And I don't say really quick because any other reason, but this one was rough for me. I grew up, if you guys are day oneers or you know me personally, locked in my room a lot. Watching, it's been years, so bootleg wrestling and diving into that world. The first time I ever was emotional of someone's death was Eddie Guerrero. That's real life. That's dead ass. These people become your family. They become a show you watch on a regular basis. They become whatever you want to look at. They're a routine. They're part of your life, even though they're not. And Don West is a big part of that. His June 19th, 2002. He actually came to my life before that because of the Will Ferrell parody on Saturday Night Live. I used to, when we didn't have cable, QVC would come through. Was it QVC? And he would sell the baseball cards. Then I'd wait up at Saturday Night Live and watch, and then ECW right after Saturday Night, nostalgia. But he's the voice, Barry Scott, Mike Tenay, Don West, not in that order. Them are the voices of Impact to me. TNA. And the first thing that, when he first got cancer, that really hits you is, I don't want to say applauded when Taz came in. But those same people that are now in today's day telling me not to like this or don't be excited about that or whatever, are the same people that say, "Oh, Don West, man, he's not good. He doesn't really knows what he's talking about. You need Taz is going to be," and you buy that and you believe it, and because you want what's best for TNA. But in retrospect, what was best for TNA would have been not to lose TNA, and part of that was Don West. I think we don't know them. We guess what we know or the little interactions we have with these people. But the fact that not every single, but the amount of people that are coming out to show their respect, from news channels to Twitter, thanks to I knew that, trended number 5, to SmackDown and Michael Cole, to the New York Post. The love Don is receiving at 59 in his passing is phenomenal. And it shows what kind of human being he was. When you touch that many people, when you leave that many good impressions on people's lives. If it was in the TV or behind the scenes. Man, I don't even have anything written down. I think when you look at it, it depends on what age you come in, but you have your Gorillas and Bobbies, right? You have your Bobbies and Shivani's, and Tenay to a ladder, you have your Jim and King, and you have your Mike and Don. That's some real shit, man. And it sucks. I kind of dropped a hint about this earlier, but it sucks that we waited for one reason or another, maybe his own accord, but that we have to finally, because they deserve it, to be inducted in the Hall of Fame, that his is posthumous, man. That's, that shit sucks. But we mourned his life. So now I'm a firm believer and we got to celebrate it. So if you have anything in the chat or anything on or on the comments, anything you want to write about Don, the moments that actually popped you, that made you laugh, that made you scream, cry, happy, whatever emotion he brought out of you, let's light it up and let's keep that going, man. Because trending number 5 is, worldwide. That's pretty damn. That's love. But let's switch it up to something a little different. Let's celebrate the impossibles, the possibles. We'll put it that way for Dom. We'll put the possibilities. And I said early in the beginning of the show that Lucha had mentioned, what do you think? She put out a thing about new beginnings, the former Sasha Banks, Monet Banks, or whatever, that it looks like they're going with. Man, I'm sorry, I'm a little shook. But she put out a thing about new beginnings and starting from wherever and getting back. And he said, "What do you 2% more than 2% chance that she shows up at?" We'll say Hard to Kill. I don't think he put a timeline on it. And at first I said, okay, 2%. But how it got to 50, I'll tell you. And I know you guys say, well, you always make these things or you make these bold. And it's because I look at the odds and of what really matters. I don't just say, oh, it's Impact, she's not going there. Or it's AEW, she's going there. Or not going there. Whatever. So Critical Sting saying, would I like to see an Impact? Of course. Do I think so? No. So here's what I'm gonna hopefully give you a little hope. Maybe not, but also make it at least let you look from my perspective so we're on the same page when it comes to why I say 50% chance. Well, we know she's doing New Japan, right? So we know she's doing that, and I believe that's on the 4th, if I'm not mistaken, as well. And what do we know about Japan? Is it going to be do they ever have, excuse me, when you're locked in, right? You're exclusive to New Japan. Yes, they do. Do they have it with American talents? I don't know. It's yes, I think so. You know, obviously when Kenny and all them were there, but as far as someone coming in, is that where she's going to sign and that's going to be the place? I don't think so. Right? So then you have a 33 and a third percent chance, and then it goes back to WWE. Maybe that's still in the cards. She'd go to AEW. Makes a lot of sense. But then there's Impact. And I say 33 because it's still a chance. Let's get into the details and we go from there. Then we could talk, but we know what each company can do for her. But we also have to think about this from what she actually wants. And none of us know her. Okay. And this is where it started getting interesting for me. Because I say, okay, money, is that one? Well, she's doing New Japan, so she'll make money there. She wants to keep acting. She can make her money there. I don't know if she makes that Mandy Rose OnlyFans money or whatever it is, but she can make money there. So I don't think it comes down to money, but it sure is hell nice, right? So you got to figure AEW and WWE have the thing there. Let's take WWE out of the equation if you think that's not even a chance, right? So let's just play Impact and AEW. So money's one. You got movies. Does being in a Warner company help with movies? Sting. Sting wants to be in movies. Still talking about Joker Sting. Right? He's not in any movies from Warner. So I don't think it's a lock and guarantee. And she already has her career, blooming because of her own accord. Maybe WWE has something to do with it. I don't know. But she's already got her own brand and her own star power. So there's that. Okay, then there's reach. Well, does Impact have the biggest reach? Well, worldwide, yes. Now second biggest because of DAZN. But AEW would have us there, right? Because if she wants to make a big. And then Ego. I don't know her. Do we think it's big? Jericho said some weird stuff about her, which makes me question if she would go there. But maybe once again, it's Jericho. It could be all in the cards. But the last one I got to, and that's what I'm going to get to, so we can pick this up a little bit, is legacy. Sasha had the money. She could have stayed with the money. She had the fame. She could have stayed with that, right? So this is more to her than just fame and money and whatever. So what does she want her legacy to be? It was Sasha Banks. Now she's going to Wrestle Kingdom. She starts there. So then you say, okay, does she want to stick with... And New Japan will be happy with either, I'm sure. But does she want to stick with AEW exclusive? Does she want to go there and be Saraya's partner on the 11th? Does she look at the landscape of AEW and say, okay, well, Ember is now ROH champion, and Ruby is, and Tony, okay. Does she look at that as a businesswoman and say, this is the decision? It's possible. Or do you think that Sasha Mercedes has a Cody-like vibe to her? He will throw the bag at her. He will throw the bag at her. But some people don't care about the bag. And some people also are business people to understand that the bag can be had by many. 5 bags with $200,000 is the same as 1 bag with $1 million. Especially if you're an artist and you want to be creative. And that lets you grow. Now wonder if she shows up at Wrestle Kingdom on the 4th. Wonder if she shows up at Dynamite or whatever it is on the 11th. Is it Dynamite or Rampage? I'm bad with that. Live, so Dynamite. Does she show up at Hard to Kill on the 13th? That's a Cody-like moment, right? Remember when he was hitting on all the things? He was going guns blazing, wanting to cement his legacy. I think that's the route she goes. And that's why I say 50%. Could you imagine being dangled the carrot of retiring Mickie James? Can you imagine being dangled the carrot of being able to still be in movies, still wrestle in Japan, still wrestle on Dynamite if you wanted to? I don't know. What about the carrot of being one of those people, as I mentioned, Jordan's about to become? A pillar of this Knockouts brand, which no matter what she does in AEW, the Knockouts will always have the bigger history, the bigger lineage, the bigger moments. Could they be created in the future? Sure. She can add to that. Yeah, definitely. But she's not the booker. So I just don't think she would throw a big stink or whatever you want to put a spin on it, leave WWE to be locked in AEW. And that's why I think 50% chance she shows up at Hard to Kill. Am I wrong? Probably. But if we say it enough and we breathe it into existence, it's possible. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. At the end of the day, I just think she's that kind of person. Is she a Cody? Is she a Cody to you guys? See, maybe it's a cup of tea. Maybe it's a program. Maybe it's to retire Mickie James. Do I think she signs and is exclusive to Impact? That I'll give 2%. Millard says can give her them Gravitas movies and great booking. Yeah, those Gravitas movies. But they can give her great booking. So I'm just saying, and just goes back to my bully thing and my Anthony Greene thing. Don't let the negativity sway you. Look at the possibilities, follow the breadcrumbs, and see. Maybe there's a chance. I think there is. What's the worst that can happen? Your hopes are up for a little bit? I don't really expect to see her, but if she shows, pretty damn exciting. All right, guys, so you know my thing, 86 minutes of Impact. I can't be more than 86 minutes either. I'm not going to talk about longer than the show that we watch, right? But we have a few coming up that we might. Hard to Kill is coming up. They're 3-hour shows, so we have some time to talk about it, but Lucha will be joining me then. Obviously, check out all our shows. I only got a few more things for you, including Hard to Kill updates. Right now, we obviously have our, we don't know, co-main events. We have Mickie versus The Last Rodeo, Mickie versus Jordan for the world title. We have Full Metal Mayhem, Bully Ray and Josh for the title. We have Black Taurus and Trey for the X title. Tag 4-way elimination, which I love eliminations. So yeah, check it on the Tron. That'll be a better recap than I'm going to be. By the way, the eye and Impact in a coffin. I thought it was a 6-sided ring. It's a coffin. Eye and Impact on Hard to Kill. The Eye of Kill in a coffin. Is that another breadcrumb? Woo! Tinfoil hats. Let's get them on. But no, Jonathan Gresham versus Eddie Edwards. And we have a number 1 contendership match. This is what also plays with maybe some things changing, some possibilities of someone else coming in, because Masha is just thrown into this number 1 contender. Deanna as well, and Taylor Wilde, the new Taylor Wilde, in a number 1 contendership match for the Knockouts World title at Hard to Kill. Interesting. I am, if it's just there was nothing else to it and it was just they waited and brought her back this way, she'll be back this week first facing Taylor Wilde, but this is how they did it, then I'm a little disappointed. I thought she would be brought back to be the foil. The third time's the charge. She has to go a little extra to be there. Speak of the devil, a little a little deeper, dig a little deeper, be more violent, per se. But if the culmination is just this, then that kind of does suck. But she'll be fine because she's Masha Slamovich, and she'll be fun. So check that out this week as well. Cardona versus Sabin, first-time matchup, if I'm not mistaken, which is awesome. And then the debut of Anthony Greene versus Black Taurus. Maybe Impact not saying he's a big signing either, because I imagine Taurus isn't going to lose right before Hard to Kill, but we'll see what happens. Trade can be involved here as well. Other than that, guys, check out the merch. Beautiful work, man. With Deanna's new shirt, Macklin's new shirt, Ace and Bay got a new shirt, and then Taylor Wilde, of course. All really cool stuff. And I said I would make a few predictions, and I kind of hit on them as we went throughout the show. The 4 I have for you, once again, probably not, well, no, gonna happen. My crystal ball. Number 4, I think there's gonna be a Good Brothers-like signing. Is that Sasha Banks? Who knows? But a signing to that level of like, oh, damn, they chose or they ended up here instead of there. That's pretty damn. There's going to be one of those. We're bound to have another one of those. 2, I think TNA comes back in some capacity. Is it the company? Is it the belts? Is it everything? I don't know, man. Eric Bischoff and Conrad being at Hard to Kill is interesting as well for me. A lot of good talk about TNA. So I think that's another thing to play. Ratings, not that they matter to me, but if they matter to you, Nielsen ratings, I miraculously will double in some capacity in this new year at some point. Not much, obviously. 89 will be in the, maybe I will say it will hit 200 at some point. Ooh, right? But hey, whatever. And the last one is when Forbidden Door comes. Ooh, Millar is saying FTR future Impact Tag Team Champions. Man, look, another one like Sasha, man, who I feel maybe if they weren't originally, even though they are belt collectors, kind of saw the landscape and said, shit, we need to be in charge of our own destiny, and could be another Cody. They realize their worth. They're businessmen. It's possible. We'll see. But yeah, that's my other one is Forbidden Door 2023. Impact will be represented in subcapacity as well. I too much to play there. Too good of a relationship with New Japan. Too seamless of a relationship with New Japan for leverage not to be used. I think that's a possibility. What are your guys' predictions for 2023? Obviously mine are a little bit whatever, but you know, got to reel it in for a realist out there. But thank you guys for rocking with me from the chat. Oh, sorry, I was trying to catch up. From the chat, which I was just trying to read and in the treehouse still, to Twitter, to YouTube. Thank you for helping us break 350. That's awesome. Let's shoot to 400. Tell your friends. One friend at a time, one fan at a time. But as I always say, if my voice isn't the voice for you, as although I make this for everyone, maybe it's not for you, and that's okay as well. And Misalko says, I predict hope for a big war between all spooky characters. I'll take that as well. Right up my alley, my friend. But if this show is not for you, there are tons of other great shows out there with different perspectives, or maybe the same. I don't know, but go check them out. You can find them. YouTube, podcasting, wherever they are, find them, enjoy them, but support Impact Wrestling. If any year to test your I don't want to say nuts because this is equal opportunity. If you want to test your strength and fight the herds and give Impact a chance, now's the time to start. I see Ospreay as well. Shows back up in Impact with the United Empire. I could see that as well. I think this is a good one, man. And if you follow the breadcrumbs of Impact on social media, on the people that work there, and everything in between, a lot of mentions of wait to see what's to come. Wait till you see what this year is going to bring. You haven't seen nothing yet. I'm going to hold them at their word. If I have egg on my face later, or food on my face as I said last week, so be it. I'll be that guy. But thank you for being the ones that rock with me each week, from chats to YouTube to comments to everything. Love you guys. Thank you. You know that. If this week from holidays to passings to great news and everything in between. Happy New Year. Thanks, Masalko. Thank you. Yes. Happy New Year. Let's look forward to a better one. Let's create a better one together. Whatever that means. And if it just means every Sunday we come with a positive spin on Impact Wrestling, although being honest, unbiased, and transparent. Let's do that. Sundays at 8, me and you, and then next week with Lucha, and the week after that as well. Hard to Kill, pre and post show. Thank you guys. Love you. Have a good night.